that.
Hey, whoa. I'm very excited for today.
I have at least enough 2 extensions.
We got to follow. Look, we're already laughing. Steph Infection, we're back. It's Thursday, whatever fucking day this comes out.
What is? Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I got Jodie fucking Sweetin here with me today. God damn it. I'm jacked up. I'm jizzed up.
You're jizzed up?
I'm jizzed up. I'm filled to the brim with jizz.
Oh my God. You know what? I actually had a podcast episode of, never thought I'd say this, called Just for the Jizz of It. So
that's good.
Yeah. So I'm honored that I was like, wait, is that a special rep? I was honored by the fact that was what you said.
I didn't listen to it, but I can. But look.
No, please don't. It's okay. No.
Very exciting. You know why this all happened? You followed me recently and I was like, is that who I think it is? And then I was like, holy fucking shit, it is.
Yeah. I followed you recently. I know we've got a bunch of mutual friends through the comedy world, and I had seen you on something or somebody's show, and I was like, oh my God, this girl's hilarious. And I followed you, and I love it. And,
thank you.
And congrats on opening up for Bill Burr, and like all that. It's great.
Yeah, it's very fun. But it's so wild to meet somebody you grew up with. And because my name is Steph, and you were Stephanie Tanner.
Steph Infection.
Yeah, and so it was everyone used to call me Stephanie Tanner as a kid because it's also like Steph Tolev Tanner. It's not that close. But
it's almost close enough.
Close enough.
I mean, let's be real. Technically, in the show, I was supposed to be Greek because...
you?
Well, Pam was Uncle Jesse's sister. So Pam, our mom that's dead on the show, would have been Greek.
Oh.
Although she's blonde and whatever, much more fair, I feel like...
Okay.
I feel like either the 3 kids were Joey's or that the genetic inheritance in that family really just skipped some.
Honestly, I never really thought about your mom in the show.
Well, she was dead. So
that's
probably
why.
That was why. Right. They were like, I didn't think about the mom. We killed her off.
You killed her off pretty early. Because I do remember...
I feel like that was a big thing in the 80s. Just shows with the dead mom.
Was it?
I don't know. Like My Two Dads. I feel like there were a lot of shows that had the mom killed off mysteriously in the beginning.
I feel like you were the only one.
Maybe I was. What the fuck do I know?
I watched you all of the time. I had 3 shows. I was allowed to watch Full House. Wasn't allowed to watch Simpsons. Got in trouble. Insane. No reason. My parents are filthy, dirty pigs. My dad years later said, I hated the way it looked. And I was like, okay, so nothing to do with the content.
I mean, look, I get it. There are some things that I won't let my kids watch because I'm like, if I hear that person's voice, I'm gonna stab my eyes out. Yeah.
Like a certain cartoon or
No, it's not even a cartoon. It's like YouTube shit that they watch, and I'm like, I can't. I'm like, you are not allowed to watch this on the TV out here. You want to be in your room and watch this annoying shit? Fine, but not out here.
Do your kids watch Full House?
No. They have. They've watched it. They used to come to all the tapings. But they never really cared about sitting in the audience. They just wanted craft service, I think. Yeah. They wanted to hang out backstage and just be with mom. So
they didn't watch the first.
No, they don't know. I mean, they've seen episodes and stuff of it, but it's...
They have no interest.
They're like, whatever, mom, it's lame. You know what I mean? It's mom. At the end of the day, it's weird. I'm watching my mom as a little kid. I guess I want to laugh, but I can't because it's mom and she's dumb. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's fucking wild. So we were talking a bit before this. Were you an actor as a young kid? Is that how you started?
Full House was not my first television show, but my second. The second time I'd ever been on a show. I actually never auditioned for Full House, and this is a really random story that I tell all the time. I had done a guest appearance on a show called Valerie, which was with Valerie Harper and Jason Bateman and Jeremy Licht and oh my gosh, I feel awful. I can't remember Danny. Anyway, I played the next door neighbor's niece, and the 3 boys had to babysit me and do a tea party and do all the stuff, and everything goes wrong. It was the same producers.
And the mom dies.
And not yet, but they did replace Valerie eventually. I think they did kill her off when she wanted to renegotiate. So yeah, that happened. But yeah, I did that guest appearance, and then from that I got cast onto Full House because it was the same producers, and they had Full House in development at the time, and they were like, we think that's Stephanie Tanner.
And there we go. And then you squeezed over.
They almost called me Stephanie Tolev, but they were like, I think that's taken already. So we had to
It's a
Tanner.
bit too, they had to really, and then you had to get a lot of dark eyebrows and
Right.
get a big prosthetic nose. It'd be a lot for you to do as a child. Can you imagine I had this nose as a kid? I didn't. But can you imagine?
I love your nose.
No, I had a cute little button nose. I was a cute little. I literally had your nose on Full House. I had this tiny little button nose, and then I don't know what happened one year.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm like one of those people. I love different faces. I love faces that have something that maybe people would normally be like, oh, it's a gap in their teeth, or they think their nose is big, or
some weird big eyes.
I love that. I just think I like what makes people unique.
Look, what a nice person. What a sweet person. So you, okay.
Oh, I'm not. I'm an asshole.
Are you?
Sometimes. Aren't we all?
I'm a piece of shit. I'm trying to act like I'm not. I'm absolutely trash.
Absolutely.
I'm garbage. I'm a garbage person. I was obsessed with Full House growing up. I started DJing in Toronto, and my name was DJ Tanner. And so few people got it, and I was like, this is the funniest DJ name a person could come up with. Thank you.
And then we did it on Fuller House. I was DJ Tanner on Fuller House.
I didn't even know that. I didn't watch Fuller House. Sorry, I didn't watch Fuller House.
This whole story comes full circle for you.
Oh my God.
When you realize that Stephanie, her character was a DJ, and she had been traveling the world and had been DJing under the name DJ Tanner. When she comes home and visits a DJ and tells her, she's not thrilled. But yeah.
Oh my God. Literally.
You're welcome.
Look at this. Wow. I mean, look, we were meant to be friends.
We were, yeah.
So you're saying, okay, so you grew up with like the coolest fucking family, like the coolest, like, you know, you're saying like off stage too, you hung out with them, and like it wasn't just
we were, I mean, the cast of Full House, and still everything we've gone through, everything, like we're still really close, all of us.
That's so nice.
No matter what, like we have our moments and we have our, you know, stupid squabbles or whatever, but like we're all still really close. That's what you do with family and siblings and cousins, and you know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. And then
next thing you're like,
whatever. Anyway, pass the mashed potatoes. You know what I mean?
That's so fucking, it's very sweet, because I remember hearing like some, not a Full House, but like other like sitcoms that like off screen, they were like horrible and like getting along.
You know, a lot of shows, I think, start off with like a group of people, and sometimes everyone's kind of battling to be the most well-known on the show, or the funniest, or the best, you know, whatever, especially when it's a lot of adults. But our show was so kid-centered, and the storylines even were really kid-focused. And just Bob and Dave and John and Lori in general were such family people.
Yeah.
That
it was like
it wasn't like they hated working with kids. They were great, and they became extended family instead of being like, oh God, you know. And a lot of times that happens on shows with kids where they're kind of the pushed to the side.
Well, that's nice.
Yes.
I read something years ago, and I'm sure you can clear this up, where it said there was some article that was like, Bob Saget is his normal. He does those jokes backstage on the set of Full House, and like everyone else's parents have to come on. And I was like,
yeah, for sure. I'll tell you how it really went down. It was usually, he wouldn't do it in front of him. Like Bob was also always very like, you know, he wouldn't drop F-bombs or anything like that in front of the kids.
Yes.
But, you know, and I get it, because I sort of became Bob on Fuller House, where I was like, oh my God, the kids are in the room. What did I just say?
Yeah.
But he would, you know, make jokes. A lot of time it would go over our heads, but the adults were laughing. So I would be laughing, and I was like, I don't quite get this, but I think it's funny.
I know, it's funny.
And so I just kind of absorbed that over the years. But no, there were definitely occasions when it would be like a camera blocking day. And so there's monitors that are on backstage in the dressing rooms, in hair and makeup and whatever, so you can see what's happening out on stage. And the guys and the stand-ins who would be there for the kids, but the adult actors would be on stage. So they're thinking, there's no kids here, we can do what we want. Meanwhile, we're backstage in our dressing room like, you know. And so there were definitely a few times that the moms, I mean, now I'm talking when we were like 6, you know, that went down and were like, guys, the monitors are on. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God. Like mortified. Yeah. But no, it was never.
Bob going backstage and being like, I was 69 my wife.
No. Oh God, no. Never anything inappropriate like that. Yeah. It was always stuff like, you guys, just remember the kids can see the monitors, and they're like, oh my God. You know, no, it was never like inappropriate where anyone was mad or angry. It was just, you know, the shit that you do when you're like joking around
with your buddies.
And then you're like, oh my God. Kids.
God damn it. Yeah, I say fuck in front of kids all the time.
I do too. My kids, are pirates and have the worst language. And I'm like,
How
just
old
not
are they?
in front of Grammy and not at school. 14 and 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, no, they're not.
No.
I mean, they've been saying the F word a lot longer than they should have.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like,
I gotta fuck it. I started swearing very young. My parents swore around me since I was like 5.
my parents did not. I only in probably the last like 10 years of my life started realizing like with everything I've done, I think I can say fuck in front of my
I
mother.
feel the first time in UK. So was that weird being like this like childhood superstar, like sweet girl, and then if people saw you in the real world, they're like, it's not like you're like fuck this, but like
No, but I am. I have the worst mouth. Like it's just I too am a sailor and a pirate.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
have raised little pirate babies.
they both have an eye patch and a little.
They do, yeah.
Peg legs.
But that's just because I poked their eye out. No,
That's because I did it
that's
myself,
because I
and
did
I
myself.
really
Right,
needed
well,
to.
yeah. Makes the
take this
joke
bit.
funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you got to land the punchline.
Right,
here.
of
You got to
course,
make it
of
funny.
And now I'm going to get hate mail about poking children's eyes out. No, but I was really fortunate that I got to grow up around such a wonderful extended family on the set of Full House because, I came from a relatively small family. It was like me and my parents growing up. I had cousins and stuff, but all back in Iowa, like out of state. I had my aunt and uncle were here, but then they moved. So I had a small family,
Yeah.
and so it was nice to kind of be welcomed into this big extended family of, cousins and brothers and sisters and family for the last 35 years.
35 years. Was it hard to memorize lines as a kid?
No, it's probably easier than it is now.
Really?
Yeah, I started reading at a really young age. I was
Somebody's bright. Came
kind
out of the
asshole.
womb, was reading
Came out of the
full
womb, was reading-
novels,
No,
whatever.
but by the age of 3, I was pretty much could read anything you put down in front
Oh,
of me.
shit.
Like, the part of the reason why Bob was like, oh my God, this kid, at the table read, I sat down at 5 years old and sat at the table with everyone and read my script, read my lines, flipped and didn't, wasn't like I couldn't read or. So
my! I can't read myself now, and I'm 37.
So I excelled really well in that area. Words were always
okay.
easy for me to memorize. Like even to this day, I have the panic that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to memorize this. And then I get on set and I'm like, oh, it's in there.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy. Because how many like pages could you memorize at that age? Like a lot?
You memorize the whole script.
You memorize the whole script?
Yeah. On a sitcom, you
Fuck
shoot the whole
me.
thing. So.
Like you don't go? Would you go back and look at them? Like,
Oh no, you
okay,
do.
I was
You
like,
have
good Christ.
a couple days of rehearsal
Okay.
and then 2 days of like recording at the end.
Okay,
So
okay,
you've
okay.
got 2 to 3 days
All right.
to work on learning it and all that. It's not like they just it's not like a soap opera where they throw you out and they're like, go act and do 20 scenes.
Aren't those improvised? Some of those soap operas look. I'm like, there's no way these lines are written.
Well,
It's a lot of facial expressions.
Oh no, the lines are written and they shoot an obscene every single day. They get a new script and they go and shoot. Soap opera actors,
Oh no.
like people are like, they're terrible. My hats are off to them because they get material and have to go do it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a lot of eye rolling and a lot of long stares.
Yeah. If you can make yourself cry, forget it. You're in.
I can cry right now if I thought of my dog dying. It's bad. I don't
Well,
wanna do it. I don't wanna do
yeah.
that.
I mean, it's something about no.
Now I'm like, I should have gotten into fucking soap operas. I overact. I'm all facial expressions. I'm all.
Yeah. Then there's look.
Is that
There's still time.
It's not over yet. I
There's
feel like I'd be a
always
good
time.
villain. I'd be
Yes!
like the.
Then they could kill you off. You could come back as your evil twin.
Yes! Oh, I love that
I'm
idea.
telling you, dude. There's
God
so much
damn
you
it.
can do with a soap opera.
That is such a funny idea too, of just doing a sitcom and just having somebody constantly get killed off and coming back as an evil twin. Then it's like
Right.
there was 3 kids.
Right,
There was 17.
That feels like a very Arrested Development storyline,
does.
where like
Yes, it does.
every other season they get killed off, but then the next season somebody comes back like, wait, weren't you?
Were you- yeah.
No, I'm actually the
Yeah.
the long lost triplet. Oh,
and it's
right.
just something so small off, like it's like a raised eyebrow, like nothing really crazy.
That's it. Or like a freckle.
One more,
That's it.
What was that one Muppets where it was Kermit? The other Kermit just had a mole and no one noticed. Muppets Take
that was-
Manhattan. Muppet Caper. What was that one? They went to Paris or something. It's a very good one.
That's the Muppet Caper.
Okay,
I think
it's a very funny one.
Muppets Take Manhattan is amazing though. I'm a huge Muppets.
I'm a
fan.
huge Muppets fan. I'm like
Yeah, no,
massive.
Muppet Christmas Carol is my deal. So my favorite Christmas movie ever.
It's my favorite Christmas movie ever.
Yeah.
I made my boyfriend watch it this year, and he fucking fell asleep. And
my husband and my kids are like, what? I watch it. My youngest one will watch it with
I need to show
me.
you this.
But no,
I need to show you this. So I literally got my sister this for Christmas. So my sister's also her favorite Christmas carol.
Everyone's like, is this a podcast or are you guys just having coffee?
we are just having coffee. I need to fucking show you this because I was like so
my
fucking
God.
pumped up. Okay, so my sister.
I posted about it at least 4 times over the holidays.
We quote about it all the fucking time. So I got this made for her by my friend who's very good. Stitch Stitch of Dishonor. He's fucking amazing. He makes. I made a. Come in and know me better, man.
Yeah. Come in and know me better, man.
Did I already say that? It's a fully stitched.
It's
I
amazing.
keep showing these guys anything. Anyways,
that's amazing.
I'm obsessed. And when Tiny, my boyfriend woke up to Tiny Tim, you know when they do the thing where he's like dead and there's his little cane.
I can't cry.
I can't.
Cry.
No, I can't.
Every time.
It's the tiny cane.
It's
so
the cane.
small.
And
his
it's a
little
little
hat, his
frog.
scarf.
It's a
I
little
know.
frog.
And he was on the shore. I know. Okay, yeah.
No. And now look at I honor Tiny Tim by coming with my own crutches today.
Speaking of canes, okay, so when I first asked you to do this podcast, I was like, okay, it's all about body shit and whatever, and you were like, oh, I've got
body.
stories.
No.
I have a body, and now
it's
you're
relatively
literally
broken. No.
for the fucking listeners. She's literally here on fucking crutches. You have a okay. So what the fuck do we? Here's the fucking cast. What you're the first person ever to do Steph Infection actually injured at the time. So
I like to be true to my art. It's called method, okay? I really lean in.
Yes. So what the fuck?
What the fuck? This wasn't an accident. This was a planned surgery.
Okay, okay.
I had...
You were in the mood for some surgery.
I was in the mood for some surgery at the holidays. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I didn't have to do shit. Over the holiday, it was. I actually am thinking what I'm going to have reconstructed next year. Because I was like, look, if it's not done by December 14th, fuck it. You know what I mean? And like everybody brought food. It was easy. I was like, this is.
Husband.
I think I found. Yeah, like I think. No, I wrapped I wrapped presents. Okay. But I had it all done by the time I went to surgery, and I told myself, fuck it. If it ain't done by then, it's not happening.
That's it.
But yeah, I had a bone deformity in my big toe, and they had to put pins and readjust and do some bone grafting in there to fix my toe, which was leaning over and really incredibly painful.
So just like, that happens out of nowhere, just from like wear and tear?
Well, I also had a bunion, which couldn't they come up with a better name
the bunion,
for it?
It's this disgusting word.
You know what I mean? It's a weird, it's like,
it already looks
it's like
bad.
Moist. It's bunion, like, can you not talk about like a foot thing that makes it sound like I have like an onion growing on my foot?
Disgusting,
you know what I'm saying?
Because it could look like a little tiny shallot too.
It could.
A shallot's also cuter. A little shell. Little baby shell.
Shell, yep. Oh, Marcel, the shell with shoes on.
Bunion's bad.
Bunions are bad. So anyway, they have to shave that down, but then they also had to like cut bone here, reposition it, turn this joint, reposition it, put pins in it.
Jesus. Because I heard the bunion itself, that's a big...
The bunion itself is a big surgery, and then I had other stuff, and then when they got in there, my anatomy was more fucked up than they realized. That my toe joint had actually like come loose in there because my foot was so damaged from years of dance and walking, and I'm sure, you know, the last few years of protesting and marching. Yeah, you really got 30 miles in a weekend did not help, and it really damaged all that. So they had to go and reshape all that. Yeah.
Were you wearing good marching shoes, or are you just wearing?
I mean, I feel
high heels. What
you Converse, which are really never. Yeah, I might as well gone barefoot.
You're like, I'm a lady and I'm gonna wear heels and prove it.
No, I fucking hate heels.
Okay, I hate heels so much. I can't.
Heels.
Also, I have man feet, so I can't.
I've worn heels. I lived my 20s in heels when I thought was trying to be cute. And, you know what I mean? When we all do that. And now I'm like,
I didn't do that.
Why would I ever
wear
do
dog
that?
color instead.
Oh, God,
I did dog collar and fishnets. Yeah.
I wish I had been that person.
No, when you look back at photos, you wish you had very embarrassing pics.
Let's just say thank God camera phones weren't a thing at the time I was living my life in heels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, okay, so what dance?
I did all. I mean, I grew up dancing. As you know, you saw on Full House.
On the Full House. Yes.
But yeah, I
remember you did ballet on the show, right?
I did ballet. I did jazz. I did hip hop. I mean, I still would go to dance classes and stuff. I mean, within the last few years.
Oh shit.
Hip hop classes mostly.
Oh wow.
But
I don't know why immediately I'm thinking of this is not you at all.
No, it's okay.
Have you
No,
seen that whole TikTok? I hate brand TikToks. That woman that does the hip hop. You know exactly what you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's like pot of array.
Bitch,
bad.
ain't nobody ever done a pot of array in hip hop.
It's
okay?
the
Stop.
worst.
But it's
so
so
funny.
It's why white people
You
ruin
should
everything.
do a reenactment of that. You have to do a reenactment of that video.
Oh,
you have to.
I have to now.
You do hip hop. You already do hip hop. You have to.
I do hip hop, so I might as well do it badly. But it's the windbreaker that really seals.
I got
the
a
deal
windbreaker and I got a wig for you, so don't you dare worry. You want me to help you with this
You got
video.
a windbreaker and a wig. I'm in.
Oh, I do. I have multiple. Oh my God, that is so funny. Okay.
Anyway, so that was my surgery, and it actually happened. I was supposed to have it on the 19th of December, and my doctor called me the night before on the 13th and was like, "Hey, so I can't do it on the 19th. My schedule's gotten shifted. Can you do it tomorrow?" I was moderating a panel at the Women's Summit for the Rap Hollywood with the directors of The Janes from HBO about like women's reproductive health and all that stuff. I literally am hair done, eyelashes fucking done. You know what I mean? In the bathroom of the Fairmont Miramar in Santa Monica, ripping out hair extensions, eyelashes off, putting on sweatpants and Uggs to get in my car
to get your fucking toe
to drive
open.
over to Cedars-Sinai and get surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I like to really cram things in there.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's what happened to your toe. You crammed too much in the toe.
Right. But anyway, so that's what happened. Since the holidays, I have been on crutches. This is my second cast, which I get off on January 20th.
Okay, and then you can be well, there you go. Then you can be walking normally after this. Are you still on?
I don't know about normally.
Splint?
I think I'll have a walking boot, but I do leave for Toronto. The first week of February to go shoot a movie. So I'm like, let's go.
Jesus Christ! I'll give you some food recs.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be in Barrie.
I won't give you some food
Ontario.
recs.
Yeah. That's usually what it is when they're like, you're in Toronto. Well, not quite Toronto.
No, you're an hour north of Toronto.
Toronto, I was in Hamilton.
Yeah, another hour and a half. Yeah. But Hamilton's
I will
cool.
tell you, Hamilton was actually awesome.
Hamilton's
it was
cool.
a little shady. I'm fine with that.
Yes.
And I saw, who did I see? It was an amazing fucking concert I was staying right next door, and I got home from
they have
work
really
early,
cool
and I saw
rock band?
Ray LaMontagne.
Oh, that's fun. Right there.
I went. And I love him. And it was like, he's doing a concert. I was staying at like the, little hotel right next door. And I was like, well, fuck it. I got off work early that night. I was like, do. And
Oh, shit.
Walked over there for a concert by myself. It was so awesome. I was like, okay, this is rad.
That's fun.
And then we went and saw a bunch of the graffiti art in Toronto because I'm a huge fan of.
Oh, did you go to those back alleys off Queen Street?
Yeah.
Those are, I did a lot of new headshots when I first started back there.
Yes.
A lot of fun hedshots.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barry's not Ontario. I want to quickly, what was the panel you were talking on about the women's?
It was for The Wrap, which is a Hollywood entertainment magazine run by Sharon Waxman, who is an incredible journalist. And she put together this huge women's summit. And here's how little I pay attention to things or recognize people in real life. I don't watch TV really. I'm a huge book nerd.
Okay.
So I don't watch a lot of shows and things that I would recognize people from. So I'm like, I see this woman, right, in a amazing purple suit. I'm like, oh my God, I love your suit, complimenting her, just doing whatever. And then she turns around and I overhear this conversation. She's just been nominated for an Oscar or something and is a really famous director. And I'm just like,
love your suit.
Yeah, fuck it. I would have said it regardless, but I loved her suit. But anyway, I was speaking on that as the moderator of the panel about the movie The Janes, which I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
It's incredible. It's on HBO, and it is a documentary that covers these women in Chicago who, during the 1970s, when abortion was still illegal, learned how to perform abortions. They were regular women. They were not doctors.
Oh my God.
They learned from other abortionists through this underground network that they created. It was this whole massive network that they were helping women get reproductive care.
Wow.
And they learned from this man who was also not a doctor, but he never had an illness. Like he knew what he was doing. He taught them how to do it, and these women went and provided reproductive care all over the country illegally.
God.
Themselves.
Wow.
And
It was real.
Real,
Holy
real
fuck.
story. It's an incredible story. I highly recommend people watch it. It's called
Yeah.
The Janes, and they were
Shit.
the Janes. And so I got to moderate a panel with the director of the movie The Janes, with Judith. Oh my God, why can't I remember her last? I'm terrible with names also. Who was one of the Janes, who's a little bit older now, and I met her and I was like, "You're a fucking badass."
Literally.
And she's like, "Once a Jane, always a Jane." That's what we do. Like she's rad. And then another woman who was a doctor who runs an abortion clinic, a reproductive healthcare clinic in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And is one of the only clinics that does late-term abortions for when people have lost the fetus and they can't get it. And talking about how incredibly difficult it's been and what's happened in Arizona since the laws have been passed and changed and all that kind of stuff. So it was a really fascinating conversation.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not missing this.
Yeah.
Because I got to go get fucking surgery.
Yeah.
I'll do both.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense. I definitely want to watch that. Holy
Yes,
shit.
please do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like to mix my avid political work with stupid comedy and being really inappropriate. So.
No. I should get more into women's reproductive rights. I feel like I just have my time making fun of Crystalia, and here we are again, another episode of me bringing up his name because I like to shit on him constantly.
Who?
Crystalia.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
disgusting pig. You should watch that documentary. If you don't watch the documentary, it's called
I love watching
The
documentary.
Problem with Crystalia.
Okay.
Another comedian did it. And,
Yeah.
It shows all the crazy stuff he's been doing. And
Yeah. You know, it's
peek.
weird. There's a lot of those out there.
there's a lot.
There's a lot
In
every business.
So, well, speaking of comedy, you're thinking of, I don't want to out anything here, but
It's okay. People
should
know.
we? Okay. People
no,
know? Okay. I don't want to be,
No. You
okay.
can out me. No, I'm not gay.
Can you imagine I'm the one who outs you? You're like,
right.
this is.
No, and it's funny because my best friend and I, people are always like, you guys are so cute. We were at the Lady to Lady podcast.
Yes.
10-year anniversary thing. And I forget whose husband or boyfriend it was, one of the hosts. He was telling her, he was like, "Oh my God, I met the loveliest lesbian couple. They're so great. They're hilarious, blah, blah." She's like, "Oh, who?" And she points out, and it's me and my best friend. She goes, "They're just friends."
That's so funny. Everyone automatically thinks I'm gay all the time. It's everything about me.
Well,
get it.
you know
I
what?
get it.
Well,
I'm not offended. Hey, I've tried.
I don't get, look, it wouldn't have, it would save a lot of.
It would save me
things.
so much time and
Save so
effort.
much
I
bullshit.
mean, I'd have no material.
Right. I mean,
That's the
different
problem.
material. Right. That's the thing. Right. You're like, oh, fuck, but it's not.
I
as
already
fun.
have enough pussy material. This would really add on.
That would really,
Yeah.
I mean, there's never enough.
Well,
If you have one, you're always talking about
I mean,
it.
it turns out the internet thinks there is the line, and I've crossed it. And I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Look,
shit.
I've crossed many a line. But yeah, I'm actually not talking about, I am working right now on writing some stand-up stuff.
Yes.
I've been hosting, for the last couple years, co-hosting, it was weekly, now it's a monthly show called Social Distance Social Club, SDSC show. And I do that with Ben Glebe and Chris Bowers, and then we have guest comedians on. I did my first show at the Belly Room beginning of
That's very
December.
fun. Fun room.
I love that room.
The belly room
Love
is
that
like,
room.
it is out of all the rooms of the store, it might be my favorite room.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was funny. I was telling you that story earlier about how Bob had kind of inspired me and Bob's passing and spending time with these comedians and having them kind of encourage me. The last time I was in the Belly Room last year was the beginning of January when it was a small gathering of us for Bob's just family coming together, whatever, but we did it
Yeah.
in the Belly Room. And the next time I was in there was when I did my show in the Belly Room.
Oh, then that's so nice. It all came
And it
together.
was- and I actually wrote this post yesterday. It was a year anniversary of Bob's passing, and I talked about how like that night I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. I'm not funny. How am I going to host three fucking comedians and me? You know, and I was like panicking. So I went down and I stood in front of the picture
Of
there in
Bob
the
in the
hallway,
hallway.
and
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, all right, Bob, you said I was funny.
Yeah.
You better be fucking right.
And I feel like Bob's a nice guy, but he wouldn't say it if he.
No,
didn't
he
mean it.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
And it went great, and we're gonna do more, and we're gonna try to make it a regular
Yeah,
thing.
good,
And
good.
I'm moving more into the comedy realm
Yeah.
and writing and doing all.
Yeah.
doing new different things.
And it's a lot, but it's fun.
Look, at least I have no problem making fun of myself, telling embarrassing stories.
And if you can do that, then you're fine.
I should at least get paid for it rather than telling strangers in the grocery store my weird embarrassing stories. You know what I mean? I
met Bob's wife recently.
Kelly,
yes.
Yes.
She came into the back room at the store and she was like, she saw me, she went, oh my God. And I was like, oh, and then I didn't know who she was at first. She's like, I'm Bob's wife. And I was like, oh, sorry. She's like, are you on tonight? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go watch. Huge fan. I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God, that made me feel like Kelly by association. I was like,
Kelly
is
super awesome, and I actually have coffee planned with her soon to see her.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I decided to like take the leap and be like, you know what? Fuck it, try new things. Try new things.
And
There's
no harm, no foul. And also, like, you're already doing stuff. It's not like you're out of nowhere
right.
being like, I've done nothing for you.
Right, I'm working, I'm doing, and I actually read a book that my friend Jen Pasteloff wrote, and it's brilliant. But one of the things she talks about is the justa box, where you're like, oh, I'm just an actress.
Yeah.
Just this. And I realized that I was really limiting myself because it was sort of this mentality that I had of like, oh, well, I'm just an actress. Mm-hmm. So
I can't
like if I'm going, like I love hosting. I love doing talk show hosting and things like that. It's fun, it's easy, podcast, whatever. And I was like, oh, I would discount that somehow. Like, oh, that's not really my job. That's like a thing I do to kind of, and then I was like, what? No,
I fucking like doing this.
Yeah, I was like, I like doing this, and I can do more than what, like, you
can do one thing.
Right. I was like, there's a lot of things. So I encourage everybody to like get out of that box when you're like, oh,
yes.
I can't. Fuck it, try it. Why not?
And I feel like right now also with where social media is and the entertainment industry and everything, everyone does everything now anyways. Everyone's podcasting, acting, developing, producing. There's like a million fucking things.
We all got to try and buy a dozen eggs. You know what I mean?
I mean, what are we doing here?
So, yeah.
I might be a host tomorrow. Who knows? We're doing whatever. But let's get back into the body stuff.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I digress.
No, I want to make sure, what time is it? Yeah, we need to get into some body stuff here.
Okay.
I want to make sure, because you said you had some stories. And
I do.
Okay, so what else are we talking about body-wise? That's something crazy, like...
Gallbladder emergency surgery, which I'd had a bum gallbladder for about 10 years and had repeated attacks. Oh, no, I knew. I had repeated attacks, but I never went to the hospital. This was before I got sober, when I was doing like a lot of, and I was like, well, I can't quit that. This pain is really terrible, but it'll go away. You know what I mean? And so I did that for a while, and then finally, years later, once I got my shit together, I went to the hospital and in severe pain, and they were like, we need to have this out now. And it was like stuck to my liver because it was really enlarged and really problematic.
So what exactly does the gallbladder do? I don't know. Is it there for a reason?
It is there for a reason, but it's one of those optional body parts that like, it's there for a reason, but you can survive without it.
Like the appendix, where it's like, it breaks, get it out of there. Like it's like that.
The appendix, I think, is almost even more useless than the gallbladder, but it's still... You know what I mean?
So you're getting like sharp pains, and you were just like
pain to where I was like, I'm dying, like puking, throwing up, awful pain. Like if you've never had a gallbladder attack,
no, I don't think I have.
It's like passing a kidney stone. It's like that kind of. I had one on a flight coming back from New York once.
No,
and it's sweating, puking, doubled up in pain, can't talk, can't breathe kind of pain.
Oh my God.
It's awful.
That's my nightmare of being on a plane and having some fucking thing like that happen. Like,
yeah, but they did move me. This was years ago, and I was flying back and forth to see some friends, and I was in a lot of pain, and so they moved. There was one seat left in first class, so they moved me up to the front so I could get off the plane right away.
Oh shit!
And then I just went home and died, in pain, and then I was like, oh, I'm better today.
So that's out.
So
now.
That's out.
Okay.
But it caused some complications. It's usually an outpatient surgery. I had some internal bleeding and had to be in the hospital for 3 days.
No, like that happens inside while they're doing the operation.
Because my gallbladder was enlarged, because because I'm an idiot and had waited so long.
Okay, yeah.
It was literally, when they went in to remove it, it was like stuck to my liver, and so they had to like peel it off of there.
No.
And so they were worried that sort of
did
damage something. But then years later, I had my second daughter and had C-sections both times. And this time I nearly died from my C-section. No joke. They had told my mom to go pray, like the whole deal.
No.
I went in for like a 6-hour surgery. They brought every surgeon in overnight that they could. Like the head surgeon was in, and they couldn't figure out why I was bleeding so much.
Internally,
I had 2 liters of blood, over 2 liters of blood in my abdomen. I had my C-section.
Baby came out fine.
Baby came out fine. She was great.
Okay.
Everything was fine. I was fine in the surgery, whatever. They take me back to recovery, and I'm just not quite coming back. I'm like pale and a little out of it, and like keep falling asleep. And they're like, "What's going on?" And then they have the blood pressure. They're like, "Let's take the blood pressure." My blood pressure is tanking. They're like, let's check her heart rate. Usually when your blood pressure tanks, your heart rate spikes up to help compensate.
Yeah.
Both were going down. So and that's when your body's
Something's
like,
up.
hey.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So they, it started happening, and they're like, okay, I think we're gonna have to do all this stuff. My abdomen is like getting bigger and bigger, and I'm in pain. I can't sit up. I can't lay down because
And you're coherent now. Like your drugs
I'm
have worn
fully,
off.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And I can't lay down or sit up because it's compressing my spinal cord in the back. Like all of my organs and stuff are pushing. So it's like excruciating pain when you have internal bleeding. So they're trying to literally transfer me. One of the few things I remember is them trying to transfer me from the gurney I was in recovery back into the surgery. And I just remember this room of green tile and my OBGYN, who I love. And she was standing by my head, like trying to help move. And I just screamed and like grabbed her. And she thought I was done. My doctor was like, I thought I was going to lose you. So when I went back and saw her, after everything was fine. ICU for 5 days. I think I had like 4 or 5 blood transfusions.
Wow, that's a lot. Do you have a normal blood type so it was easy to do?
Yeah, it was, and they were like, we don't know why this happened or where. Like they couldn't figure out if like somehow something had gotten nicked when they were doing. But I also had some minor internal bleeding with my first daughter.
Yeah.
So, and then when I had the other surgery, so there's like something weird that happens, I guess, when I have abdominal surgery.
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things that I probably should get looked at.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you really, there's no, it's also terrifying when they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. And so most of my injuries and the things that happen to me, are not minor. I go like real big. I'm like, no one is going to accuse me of being a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to get hurt, it's going to be fucking
If I'm going to bleed, I'm getting a full abdominal blood.
Yeah,
not one transfusion. You're doing 8 transfusions.
Then, let's see, a few years ago, I had...
So wait, I forgot my follow-up question.
Okay, follow-up questions.
So you're in the hospital
moving on to the next
I was like, good God. 2 or 3 days in the hospital, and then you
5 days in 5 days in ICU.
Okay, and then still a hospital? Or did you go
still
home
a hospital
after?
for a couple days, yeah.
Okay, and then how long did this kind of went away? And then you're like,
once they cauterize things and stuff, like the internal bleeding stops, they're able to clear everything out. It's
and you don't
fine.
go back for a checkup. They're like, that's it.
I went back, I went back for stuff, but everything was fine by then. They couldn't figure it out.
My God, that's terrifying. The transfusion freaks me out. When they do a transfusion, does it? Not all your blood. You can't just be sitting
I have no
blood.
idea. I was fucking out.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I was out. But when I saw that video recently of Jeremy Renner with the little shower cap on and getting because he's in the ICU for that snowplow accident. And his sister's like washing his hair in this little bonnet they put him in ICU. They've got soap and shampoo in him. And it's like a dry thing. And I saw her sister doing that. And I was like, oh, I remember that. I remember the ICU shampoo bonnet.
Oh my God.
And I had the loveliest little nurse who would sing to me while she washed my hair. And it was so sweet. I was like, thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, fuck. Okay. The transfusion thing freaks me out also too. It's like, I wonder if you're going to ask whose blood it is. You're like, can I? No, they don't.
I don't think they keep. I don't think they're like.
There's not like
there's not like a tag on it where it's like to Jodie from. So it's not a Christmas present.
Yeah. Right. A little nice tag.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Right. It is red
with a little kiss.
Right.
Okay. I don't know. Huge fan. Please let my blood live on with you forever.
Right.
Like the show does in my heart.
Yes.
Even though I'm dead. Okay. What's the next one?
Next one is this fun injury, which don't.
That's
forget the
Crocs,
scar.
That's the scar. I mean, the Crocs are a lot. Okay, what is that?
It's all that works on my feet right now, you guys. It's okay. Also, my daughter bought them for me, so they're adorable. But yeah, that was a big stupid. It's a big scar. That was one of the stupider things I've done in my life. and there's a lot, but this is one of the stupider ones that led to a large scar, was I was at my older daughter's soccer tournament. This was 6 years ago now. And my younger one had bought like a tiny little $1 toy from somebody selling. So it was like a rubber ball with like a thing on the back.
Okay.
Right?
Something stupid.
Stupid.
Okay.
Fucking
yeah, this
stupid.
is going to be a stupid
right?
one.
Goes over a fence. Now you're thinking a fence, right? You're thinking a fence.
A fence.
Fence high as this fucking table, okay? Fence.
Normal, small fence.
Small fence. Chain link. Could crawl over it, right? But I'm in Uggs. So
You just love a comfortable shoe. Turns out you're not putting laces on. Is it the bunion or is it just you're
I just am lazy. I'm lazy, really. And it was also wintertime, so my feet were cold. I was out on a fucking soccer field at 9 in the morning.
Hiking boots? It made no sense. I'm not gonna put them on.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting to have to jump over a fence, right? Well, my dumbass, I go over the fence. Got it. Think I'm gonna be like fucking. I've hopped many a fence under far worse circumstances. Hop over the fence. My Ugg gets stuck on the top of the chain link. As I come over, I land on my ankle that way, my left ankle. So my foot snaps off to the side.
Oh. Is your other foot still dangling?
Oh yeah, no, it's off. It like this is going that way.
Oh my God.
But to the side. It was like an S. And so
Stephanie Tanner.
I'm laying on the ground screaming, and I heard it snap like twigs. The first thing I remember screaming is, I heard it snap!
Oh, fuck.
I go over, I fall on the ground, and I am a wild animal. Like, you know when they say, like, don't go near a dog that's been hit by a car because it'll bite you? I bit my daughter. Not even kidding. She was like, Mom, you bit me. I was like, I'm so sorry. I have no... because she was like, I like just turned and fucking nipped her.
Oh my God, you got rabies.
Well, she was like, my kids were there. Finally, their dad was like, let's go over here. My parents were there because it was my kids' tournament. Like, so my dad is at my feet and my kid is up by my head, and my dad's like, let me take the boot off. Tries to pull it off of my foot.
No.
And I scream, and I bit I was like, ah! Just fucking.
They took you to the pound after this.
Yeah, they did. They put me down. And
oh my God, so he twisted it even worse.
Well, he tried to pull it, and I was like, da, da, da!
Oh my God.
So then here comes the ambulance finally. But of course, the ambulance gets there, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but
oh my God.
The ambulance can get there, but the only people that can administer meds are firefighters. So the firefighters have certain things, and EMTs have certain things. So EMTs or whoever was there first could get the like IV in me, which is also a very difficult thing.
Did they do hand or did they do arm?
I don't remember, but
You're like,
I had to get 6 tries just to get my surgery. I have tiny little veins that roll.
I also have tiny veins.
Oh my God. Really? Steph.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so they put that in, and then they're like, okay, it's gonna be like another 10 minutes though till you get any pain meds. So I'm like, I remember.
And is your boot still on now because they didn't want to take it off?
They cut it. They had cut it off. They cut my pant leg off. I shattered my tibia and my fibula, which is the little leg bones. I broke a chunk of my tibia off like that.
Oh, fuck.
And jammed it up into the tissue in between the tibia and the fibula. I broke my ankle and dislocated it in 5 places. Now, here's the fun part. You're going to love this. So, when you have a traumatic injury like that, they can't just leave it crooked, right?
No.
So they have to pull it and straighten it.
No.
Yeah.
No, not there on the field. Not
on the field. No. Not on the field.
Okay, but
by the time I get to the hospital,
fuck.
I'm out, and at least I'm like, just keep giving me the pain meds, like whatever, right? The first thing I'm worried about is that I'm supposed to leave to go shoot a movie the next day in New Orleans. So I'm on the phone telling my mom to call my manager and tell her that I can't leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
I can't walk.
I can't walk. And so I'm in the hospital and they're like, well, we've got to pull it and straighten it. So what they do is they gave me ketamine. They're like, now you're going to feel it, but you won't remember it. I was like, and I'm like, I've had this before where they give you ketamine in the ER and they tell you like, you won't remember it, but you're going to feel stuff while you're having, and I'm like, I love the reverse. I will take remembering this and not feeling
what
it.
The hell?
Right. But apparently that's what they give you because it just makes you dissociate.
Oh, fuck.
So while I'm laying on the bed and thinking little robots are going all over the hospital on a conveyor belt, they are pulling and straightening my ankle. They do that. It's horrendous, as you would imagine.
You're feeling this?
Feeling
yes,
it.
you're of course feeling this.
I don't remember feeling it, but
you felt it.
But I felt it, yeah. And so they do that, and then they're like, okay, we've got to do this.
Can you hear it? Like, are you hearing bones?
I don't remember all that.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, that day, I took my daughter's friend to the soccer tournament with us because her dad is a surgeon that works at UCLA. The first place I went to was like Encino Hospital or something. Her dad is a orthopedic trauma surgeon at UCLA. He's the same one that like fixed some gorilla in the LA zoo. Like he's expert at what he does. So the mom is on the field and she's like, we need to call Devin. He's at work right now and you need to see him. And so they're like, where are they taking you? Encino Hospital. She's telling my mom, don't do it. Sure as shit. They transfer me to UCLA after hours. I get there. He looks at it. He goes, I hate to tell you this.
No.
When they straightened it at Encino, it's not properly set. We have to do it again.
No.
Yeah. So I get to go through this again.
More ketamine?
This time they gave me something different. I don't remember what it was. Still pretty miserable though.
Either way, whatever they give you, they're rearranging your bones again. Mm-hmm. So now do you have to break it again to get it?
They don't
back?
break. Oh no, my ankle
floppy.
is floppy. It's floppy. It's not connected to anything.
Okay.
The tendons have been ripped. Well, the tendons actually were okay. They were stretched but not ripped, which made it a lot easier to heal. So they pull out and stretch it, and then I'm gonna have to have surgery. But they're like, but we can't obviously do the surgery yet because the trauma is so great. There's so much swelling, we can't go in there yet. Yeah. So you got to wait like 10 days, and then they do the surgery. So you're like now healing from this, and then they're like, now we're gonna go fuck it up again. And so yeah, it was.
So do you stay at the hospital 10 days? You go home?
No. You go home. I was home.
Up. Okay. Can't do shit.
Breathing hurt because it was a traumatic injury to the side, like everything. But it was. I couldn't adjust. I couldn't move. It was much worse than the surgery, which was a nice clean little incision. And this was trauma, and my bones were just shattered and all over the place.
So now they go back in. Are there metal rods?
Go
there?
back in. I have got metal rods, pins. I've got a 7-inch titanium plate in my holding my bones together there, plus a bunch of transverse pins. And the big scar on the other side is from where they actually removed the largest pin that goes transverse through the ankle bone. They have to take that out before you start putting weight on it and actually learning how to move it again, because it'll limit that.
God.
So the second surgery, I go in and have that. I'm leaving for Thailand like a month later, and for whatever reason, because the skin was just so damaged, it wouldn't heal. So that little scar just kept opening up I'm going to Thailand to go like elephant adventure in the fucking river, hiking, wild shit, right? And I'm like, looking at it, and I'm like, I mean, you think one of those waterproof bandages will hold it? It's fine. Still got the foot, went in the water, everything's
You went in
good.
there with that open sore.
Yeah. Well,
You're
it was openish. It was, I made sure it was covered. But the humidity alone was a mess.
Yeah, I'd be scared of one little serpent swimming in there and becoming a host. Good God.
Like I said, I don't get sick easily, so I'm usually like, I'm pretty strong and can fight things off unless it's a 4-foot fence.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Tell me there's no more. Do you have more? I was like, these are
I broke my left arm when I was in 7th grade playing soccer because I slipped and fell in the mud, and somebody ran by and stepped on my wrist and snapped it.
Okay.
There's that. Oh God, what else?
You just love breaking things, don't you?
I break things. Like I said, big injuries, like big
injuries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that one, when you go through like security at the airport, does that go off? Or do you have to
no, it doesn't. It's not like metal. It's titanium, I guess, which doesn't set off the alarms or something. I don't know.
My pussy set off the alarm. a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it made of titanium?
I guess it is. I guess I've been shoving metal rods in there when I wasn't.
Well, you got to pull that transverse pin out there so that you can
That's
start
the problem. The problem
wiggling
is,
it around.
The problem is
yeah.
it's been in the same spot.
Yeah. You got
haven't
to
let
physical
any
therapy
movement.
for your pussy is really important.
I need to. The lips are just sewn together now. No, I was wearing like spandex shorts, and I went through, and it went off, and then I saw the thing like, do you want to be taken to the back or pat down here? I'm like, is it my pubes? Like, what's going on
What's
right
happening?
now?
Do you have piercings?
Nothing. They patted down, and I was laughing hysterically because the woman's like rubbing my clit. I'm like, thank God I didn't do this morning. And she was like, oh, not funny. You're rubbing my pussy in public at 9 a.m. and I'm not
it's
gonna
not
laugh
right.
I'm not gonna laugh here at LAX.
Right. You're like, I'm laughing because I'm not crying.
Yeah,
okay,
like,
this is
like,
weird. What the
I'm like, is
fuck?
my pussy that big? And they're like, can you? I'm like, oh, can I stop?
You're like, you have
I was
no
like,
idea.
you have
I'm
no
just
idea how big
started.
my pussy is. I'll keep going.
Best story. My mom, this is pre 9/11 days. We used to travel a lot when I was young, and we were going through airport security. And like I said, this is pre 9/11 days, or it would have been a very different story. And the lady says to my mom, I need to open your bag and look through it. And she says, careful, it might explode. Meaning it was so full.
Oh my
But the woman
God.
just looks at her and goes, I certainly hope not. And I'm like 10, and I'm like, Mom, what are you, come on. Kids
Out of all
explode at
the
the airport.
things,
Right.
yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, now she'd be taken into.
Yeah, now she'd be
secondary-
like proned out, just,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Jesus
Homeland Security.
Christ.
Right.
Okay, I want to get into what. Now that you've told these horrific tales of yourself.
I mean, you're welcome.
Good God.
everyone.
I love, no,
You're
please.
welcome
This
for
is
sharing.
also,
Yeah.
these are all, I've never had a gallbladder story. I've never had like this intense of a surgery story. What's the grossest story you've ever heard? The grossest body thing you've heard?
So me and my friend Emma, who I'm going to call out by name, and she'll be really proud. We are weird, and like weird medical stuff freaks me out. I don't know why. Like, not to freak me out to where I look away. It freaks me out to where I want to see it more.
Okay.
Where I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking awful. Click, click,
Yeah,
click,
yeah,
click.
yeah.
Right. I'm that asshole on the internet, right?
Yes.
We we'll make a joke about something and then be like, I wonder if that's really a thing. And then we'll like look
Look
it
it
up.
up. Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, speaking of pussies, I would highly recommend not having sex with hookers in particular countries where maggots are a problem. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Let's just say that. Male or female, because apparently they can get in the male too, and when you squeeze it,
Oh!
maggots.
Okay, Aaron, that might be worse than the tick. We had a tick on the dick.
Oh yeah, no, this is like maggots coming out of yeah. I'm not. You guys,
Look, no, I
wanted it. You
asked.
wanted it.
I
you
fucking
asked, and I was like, I'm not going to be gross enough for Steph because you have a high tolerance for this shit. And I was like, I don't know.
You know what it is? It's in my head right now. It's the squeezing of the penis like a Go-Gurt tube, and then the maggots coming out. That's what I'm thinking.
There's
That's
that,
really grossing me out.
And in the other, the vagina
Yeah.
way, it's like there's like a hole. Like it
'Cause
just
it's there- in there.
No.
They're-
They just eat through the. You know what I mean?
Aaron just gagged.
Yeah.
I've never heard him gag before. Oh, that was good.
I
Oh God.
am so proud of myself for this episode.
No, this is fucking. Maggots are so fucking disgusting.
They're the most disgusting
They're the most
things
disgusting
ever.
Yes.
But let me tell you, if there were one on my body,
I'm dead.
there,
No, dead.
I'd be like, oh my God, someone look at this. Holy shit.
No.
And I get it.
No,
I get it.
no.
Oftentimes these are things that have happened in countries that don't have adequate medical care, sort of like the US. But
also, there's always apple cider vinegar in a tub.
look,
I would fucking bleach I would sit my pussy in a tub of bleach.
I would light myself on fire. I would just fucking like take a torch. I don't care.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
No, that is a hose.
But my God,
Fuck.
also these poor people. It's fucking horrific.
No, these poor people, but also how does it get like that?
Yeah, so I just I want everyone to know that my friend Emma and I fell down this really deep hole, no pun intended.
Oh, I mean, you can't fall in too deep if it's filled to the brim with maggots. You can't go in that deep. Good God.
Yeah.
Aaron's actually
It's
thinking
just, well, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I know.
wow.
I realize that my like little fuzzy.
I like the crutches being in the shot. It's hilarious. I mean, it's very Steph Infection. But you're mastering these crutches. You're fucking hobbling around real quick over wires out
well,
there.
I've done it once before. I've been one-legged once before.
you know
so
this.
I
You know
literally
this.
was like, oh, I got this. Dun, 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 dun. You know, like, I'm in the hospital still coming down off the
Just
like
fucking-
pain meds. And they're like, we're going to show you how to use them. I'm like, I'm fine. And I take 3 steps, I'm wobbling. They're like, sit in the wheelchair.
The woman's still washing her hair. Okay, if that was one, do you have something else, another bad one that you've... I mean, that was bad, but now I'm like... Oh, we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do one. We just wrap it up with the funniest way you could die.
The funniest way I could die?
Yes.
There were rumors about me dying as a child. My parents used to get like condolence letters in the days before the internet even.
No.
Yes.
Odd.
And apparently it was very popular in Australia. And there were 2 rumors, one that I died in a plane crash and one that I was decapitated on a roller coaster. And so for a while there, when I was young, I was like, maybe I shouldn't go on roller coasters. And I was like Final Destination or something, you know?
Yes.
But now I just think like, look, if the rumor's going to be true, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's just
Fucking chop my head off on a roller coaster, you know?
Holy fuck.
Which is a whole reason why I don't ride roller coasters.
Yeah. No, you know what? Don't ride a fucking roller coaster.
No,
Stay
no,
away.
But I was always like, I mean, that's really, or to be like crushed by a giant Full House sign at like our 50th reunion. You know what I mean? I'm just standing there and it just falls over.
Hey, everyone, look.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, what a fucking great. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're
Jodie.
so.
This is-
Oh my
this
God.
is the best.
It's like the first time out of my house. I'm so happy.
Okay. I'm like, thank you for hobbling here.
Dude, it was great. My husband dropped me off.
Good. He's going to pick you up, hopefully.
Yep.
What a nice, sweet man. Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
God, follow Jodie if you're not following her on Instagram, for
Yes.
God's sakes.
At Jodie Sweetin. You can
Yes.
follow me there. And
Get ready to see her live doing stand-up around town.
Woohoo!
There we go. Keep following. The full episodes are on YouTube if you're listening. Follow. Send in your stories at Steph Infection podcast at gmail.com. I also should mention my tour dates. I never do.
Oh my God,
I
yes, please
never
do.
say. February 24th, I'll be in Vancouver. If you're in Vancouver, February 25th, I'll be in Seattle. February 26th, I'll be in Portland. I think it comes out around then. Thank you, guys. Follow everything on Instagram.
Yay,
Bye.
bye.
I realized I never draw my fucking